HighCast 026. HighCast is recorded in Highland FM, highlandfm.org.au. Begin your volunteer experience ASAP. Bright Spenders continues to be my optimization tool. Super happy with how Bright Spenders is working out for my wife and I. We have, well, I won't say complete and utter complete control, because you never have complete control over anything, but we have a significant amount of control over our finances than we ever have before. We are saving to do the things that we really want to do with our money. I encourage you to listen to HighCast episode 16 with Anthea, who runs Bright Spenders in the Highlands. I won't give too much away, but I was just totally embarrassed by my own financial knowledge, and Anthea has got me out of that, and I'm now in control. brightspenders.com, check it out. You'll love it. HighCast is now a social enterprise. If you would like to sponsor HighCast, get announcements like this at the beginning and the end of the program, contact me on Facebook or highcast.com.au. A percentage of all revenues will go towards rewarding volunteers in the Highlands, which I reckon is a pretty cool thing to do. Our guest today, finally, we get to the guest. It takes too long. Our guest today is Ozzie. Ozzie is a Highlands local and owner of Highlands TV. Welcome, Ozzie.
G'day, Dave. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
No, it's all right. It's my pleasure.
Really?
Yeah.
Go on. What is it with small talk?
I don't know.
So do you ever, like, I'm not good at small talk. I've never been good at small talk.
I had a kebab shop for a few years before I got into TV. Yeah, so small talk was my thing. Okay. Toppings and small talk.
So give us the rundown on small talk. Do you have a recipe for small talk?
Normally start with the weather, I suppose.
But you must. It wouldn't probably go on a CV, but it must become a skill that you become accustomed to. I think you need a little bit of small talk. Like, I think the Asians have 7 keys to opening up their heart. And hang on, what?
The Asians have, like the Japanese have 7 keys to opening up their heart, and it's all got to do with small talk. We cover this and then we cover that, and then eventually it opens up. Is that like Tinder for Japanese? I think they just flick to the right or left in Tinder. There's no small talk. Yeah, but you've got to so the keys to your heart. So you've got to open up. Is that open up every lock? Yeah. Right. Apparently. I don't know much about it. I've heard. So I could be speculating. That's good. You've come on to be recorded, and you just started off with a topic that you know nothing about. That's right. That's terrible. Should have thought about that before we started. I know. So tell us about Highlands TV. Well, Highlands TV is it's a few years old now. So in 2012, I was working in a factory with a guy named Mark Cuff, who was a washed-up old rock star who was in the band called Spy vs. Spy in the 80s. Mark, if you're listening, we don't think you're really washed up, but go on. Anyway, Mark's a lovely guy. And good recovery. Me and him were working in a factory together, and he wanted to be on camera, and I wanted to make films. And hang on, but how did that happen in a factory? So, because we're in a factory together, and we were working well. So we were. I was a courier. Yeah. And he was a sorter. And we used to get there together in the mornings, and we'd talk about our dreams. And it was freezing cold, 4 a.m. in the Highlands courier factory. Was it First Choice Couriers? First Choice Couriers. First Choice, give them a rap for sure. Yeah, they're lovely guys there. And but the cold and it was like there should be something better we can do. And I said to Mark, look, guys play golf on the weekend. Some guys play golf. Some guys go fishing. Some guys go hunting. I go, you want to be an actor? I want to be a filmmaker. Why don't we go out and just interview people? Let's call it Highlands TV. That is awesome. That's how it started. That's really how it started. Did you? So, because these are the kind of stories that I love. One of the people that really motivated me to get into podcasting. I don't know if you've heard of Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan's got one of the probably, if not the biggest podcast in the world, it would be one of the biggest. And he's like, follow do what you want. So he's always saying start a podcast. And did you? So was building a film
production business. Was that always what you wanted, or it just sort of popped up? And
it's funny. When I was younger, when I was about 14 years old, one of my first jobs was to hold the camera light for a wedding videographer in Sydney, Turkish guy, Soydash Video Productions, and we'd do weddings, and I'd hold the light because in those days cameras weren't that good, and you needed to always light up your shot. So I was a light boy, and then I had this interest in filmmaking since. But my mother, being Turkish, she said, "Look, filmmaking is a rich boy's game, and if you want to be a filmmaker, you're gonna have to make money first."
Yep.
So then I went out and got jobs, and one thing led to another. And I opened a kebab shop, and I made a.
Hang on. You went from filming to a kebab shop just because you needed to make money.
Cash.
Okay. Well, I just had like this flashback to Cream. You know the song Cream?
Yeah.
Cash moves everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Anyway, go on.
I thought you were talking about Prince's Cream. So then I opened a kebab shop in Barrel in 95.
Okay.
No, 99. 99, and money was flowing. It was a very successful business.
Really? So there's money in kebabs?
Well, back then there definitely was.
Well, there's no money in kebabs now?
I don't know. I'm not in it anymore.
Okay.
I'm a filmmaker now.
This is going to be one of my favourite podcasts. I can tell. I think I've laughed more in the 6 minutes we've been going than all day. My gosh. So you got a kebab store, money's flowing.
Money's flowing, life's good. Every now and then people are saying to me, "Can you film my wedding?" And I go, "Mum, I need to go film my wedding." She goes, "You have a kebab shop to run." So I was there for 13 years.
You've got responsibility.
I know. So then I remember selling my kebab shop to someone for 40 grand, and they didn't pay me the whole 40, and it got a little bit messy. But in that time I was sitting around, and my father goes, "You need to go get a job." And I go, "What do you mean? I just got a big payout on the kebab shop." And he goes, "No, you can't sit around the house. You need to get a job." So I was looking in the paper, and I saw owner driver wanted.
Ah, okay.
And I had the kebab van, which was still in pretty good nick because I only did a weekly run to the Flemington markets and to pick up the meats. And then so that's how I rang up the guys at First Choice Couriers, and I said, "I'm ringing up about the job." He goes, "Oh, the job's taken." I go, "But taken by who?" And he goes, "Who's this?" He thought it was one of his mates joking with him. I go, "Come on, I know what's happened. Some old guy's come in. He reckons he can do it. He's going to have busted knees. This is a retirement village. I'm your guy. I've got a van. I'm young. I'm strong." And he goes, "Come in. I'd like to meet you." Me and that guy, Lou Genjevsky, we became really good friends. And I worked for the courier company for 8 years.
And so when you're on the courier company, that's where you met Mark.
Well, no, Mark had a shop in Barrel that I used to deliver to.
Oh my God, this is
great. This is great. The shop was I forgot what it was called. Vox Pop. The shop was called Vox Pop, and he used to sell punk. And clothing.
Really? This is what, late 90s, early 2000s. Early 2000s, because if you bought it in 99, you bought the kebab shop in 99.
Yeah, 2004. I think we started. No, 2012 we started Highlands TV. So it was a year before that.
Yeah, okay.
In 99, I did 13 years at the kebab shop. It was all coming to a close. And Mark said to me, "The shop's going really bad. Is there any work going at the courier company?" And I said, "I'll ask."
Actually, you're the perfect man to talk to. I got to start filming these just because you need to see Ozzie's mannerisms and his face when he tells the story. It's fantastic.
Anyway, so I go and say, "Listen, are you guys looking for any sorters?" And he said, yeah, we need someone. So I said, "Mark, there's a job going. You got to start tomorrow morning." And it was great. We started. We'd have laughs. We're already good friends. And I said, "Let's do this thing. Let's do Highlands TV."
Okay, so you got Highlands TV. Mark's in front of the camera.
Yep.
You're behind the camera.
Yep.
What was the business model? Were you approaching people to say, "Let us film something for you," or you two just going around telling stories?
It was a bit like Norman Gunston in the 80s. I gave Mark a microphone, and I remember our first story was DJ Goodwill came to town.
DJ Goodwill, as in like
DJ Goodwill.
Hang on, I need to bring up Google. There was something I just wanted to Google before, but keep going.
All right, so DJ Goodwill comes to town, the Grand Hotel, while it was still open.
What's the Grand Hotel?
Well, it was a hotel. It was like a bar. Now it's Now it's the Grand Bistro.
Okay, just up the road here.
Yeah, so the Grand Bistro was a bar. It was a nice bar.
Yeah.
And it was
it's still a nice bar.
Well, this was an actual bar. Like, it wasn't a restaurant or anything. Anyway, so we showed up. Then we just started interviewing people in the street. You know.
Really? What like on a Friday night, a Saturday night?
I think it was a Friday or a Saturday night. And I said, Mark, and I got us jackets made.
No.
Yeah, they were like cargo. So I bought the jackets. They're like cargo jackets with all these pockets in them, and on the back I had embroidered Highlands TV. So we looked the stuff. We had a camera, we had a tripod, we had a microphone, we had matching jackets.
So in 2000, this is 2012, you say?
Yeah.
2012. What did we have? You would have still it's digital equipment.
Yeah.
So it's not like you got that big.
No.
Because it would have been really cool if it's you back in the 80s style with the huge camera on your shoulder.
It was like a DSLR camera. I could only afford one lens, so we shot everything in 50mm. It was beautiful. It was really, you could bring it up and have a look at it.
So I just googled DJ Goodwill. If I wasn't concerned about copyright, I'd play some. But it's a true story. DJ Goodwill did exist.
Yeah. So he was cool, and I filmed him a bit, and I said, "Can you do some scratching?" He goes, "What year do you think it is?"
So DJ Goodwill plays at the Grand Hotel in 2012. You and Mark standing out the front or going inside in your embroidered Highlands TV jackets. What was the output at the end of the night, or the end of that experience? It was like you get a natural high. Something exciting happens. You score a goal in soccer or something. Yeah.
Like that. It was just such a great feeling. I got home. I couldn't wait to cut it. I think I was cutting on iMovie back then.
Yeah, well, look, iMovie's still good.
Sure, but like back then, that's what I was cutting on. I'm cutting on Final Cut Pro 10 now.
Yeah.
But back then, like that's all I had, and we cut the story, and I went public with it. I didn't even have Highlands TV YouTube channel yet. It was just I had my own YouTube channel, which was Ozzie Fikri or something like that, or Ozzie Films. Ozzie Films is weird.
That's great. I think I saw that on your Facebook page actually.
Yeah, and so what happened after that was. Mark rings me up and goes, "Oh, there's another story. Let's go do this and let's go do that." And we weren't chasing celebrities or anything like that. We were just wanting to interview ordinary people.
Well, that's how this started.
Yeah.
That's. I just want to talk. Like, people keep saying, "Oh, you should talk to so and so because they're prominent." I'm like, well, that's not really this. Well, not that I don't want to hear that story. The story I want to hear is your story.
Yeah.
And I think that's what most people want to hear as well. They want to have two guys walking around the street with a camera, just finding out what's going on. That's intriguing. That's interesting.
It was pretty amazing. And then so what happened was, we started. It's like, have you seen the Grand Budapest, the movie?
Yes.
So in the beginning of the movie, he says, "Tell people you're a writer, and they will bring the stories to you." Something like to that effect.
Yeah.
So once people knew that we were like video journalists.
Sorry, hang on. You've become a video journalist now.
That's what happens, you know. Like people ring up and they go, "Listen, we've found the biggest truffle in Australia, in Robertson. Can you come down and cover the story?" Sure.
Yeah, okay. So were you making any money?
None.
Sorry, his face is priceless. So it was purely for love.
Well, with a dream to get paid eventually.
Yeah, okay.
So here's what happened. I ran into a guy named Richard Harris, right, who's interested in being a filmmaker as well. And he's like, "Oh, Ozzie, I'm really interested in sitting down with you." And he goes, "Look, the stuff you've got online, that could go on TV." And I'm like, no one would want to watch this stuff on TV. He goes, "Sure they would. Community television, Channel 44. Do you remember that?
Community, I think I was probably living in Sydney, it was Channel 31.
Yeah. Well, It was 31 when I was younger, but then we had Channel 44. And they offered us... no money, but they offered us to show our show 13 if we could get 13 episodes together.
No.
They'd show it 3 times a week.
What?
3 times a day. What? 3 days a week, 3 times a day. That's like 9 times a week. And one of them was 7 p.m. Friday night.
That's awesome.
And everyone, like my biggest fan was my Uncle Huss, local milkman in Mittagong. And he's like, "I love the show this week, Oz. It was fantastic."
I saw it 3 times. That's hilarious. So was that a half-hour program?
Yeah, 22 minutes, and then they put in ads.
And so how did you go from just two blokes running around with a camera filming truffles to making 22? So was it 3 programs a week or just
No. So they showed the same one.
So and did you record all 13 as a series before you put it to air? Or
No, it was really crazy. We were chasing our tails. So we had 3 episodes done.
Yeah.
So we took all our 3 to 5 minute stories and put them together with ad breaks.
Oh god!
And then we had 3 episodes in the can.
You did all of the editing yourself. So you put it into the 6 or 7 minute brackets.
Yeah.
Wow. So you didn't even give that to the studio to do.
They said for it to go to air, you have to give it to us like this, and they gave us this list of stuff we needed.
Wow.
And then so we had 3 in the can, and then we were chasing our tails. We didn't know what to do. Like they like when
sounds like every day for me.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Like we never thought something like would go from hobby to such serious, legitimate, and we were just chasing stories.
But you're still not making any money at that stage. So it's still a hobby essentially. But to put together a 22-minute episode.
Oh, so let me tell you. I said to them, "Hey, would you guys like to pay for the?" And they said, "No, we can't pay, but you can get someone to sponsor the show." And so we went to Steve Rosa, Destination Southern Highlands.
Okay, sure.
And we said, Steve, listen, we've got this show. It's all about the Highlands, this, that, and the other. And he's gone, how much do you want? What do I get to put my name? Where do I get to put
$100,000, please?
$10 million. I said, look, you know what? $6,000 would suffice. And no, I said I want $12,000. He goes, I can't give you 12. What if I give you 6 and I find you another 6? And I go, where are you going to find the other 6? And he held my hand and we went down a minute ago. I was telling him we asked them for $6,000. And they said, yep. And they gave us, so first year, 12 grand. And that sort of just covered costs.
Wow.
And so what I did is I divvied the money out. I gave some to Richard Harris. And I gave some to Mark. And then young Michael Tazinski.
I'd say it like I know that. I don't know Michael.
So Michael is now with me.
Oh, okay. There
and
you
we
go.
work together every day. And so young Michael came on board at that time, and his first story was the truffle story.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So 13 episodes on Channel 44. How do you make a 22-minute program? Like, do you have to make 5 hours worth of TV to get 22 minutes kind of thing?
We were pretty raw, all right? So what we did is we'd go out and shoot a story, and let's say we spent 2 hours shooting, we'd end up with a 5-minute story. And then, so we'd take, essentially 4 of those 5-minute stories, and then we'd have a 20-minute episode.
Wow.
We did a season 2.
And what was the topic? Like, what were you, like, was it comedy? Was it satire? What was it?
It was a bit like Norman Gunston. You had a guy in barrel.
So it was comedy.
It was
because he was satire for sure.
Yeah, no, he was, like, Mark was pretty serious. He was a funny guy, but he wasn't trying to be funny. He wasn't, we didn't set out to make a comedy.
Yeah.
It was just like, let's go out, interview people, much like you do.
Yeah.
And if it's funny, it's funny. And if it's not, it's not. We did all sorts of stories, and then we started getting celebrities, like Rhonda Birchmore,
wow,
and people like that, and it was just and Mark's sort of been a celebrity, so he was very comfortable around them, and I was behind the camera, so I didn't care as long as the lighting was right. But we got to meet a lot of musicians, and I think John Uliana from Gibraltar, he was bringing in a lot of big acts.
Yeah.
And he'd say, come down and interview the act before they go on, and then film a bit of the act.
So what was it called?
Highlands TV.
And it actually wasn't just like Highlands TV wasn't the company. It was
the show.
It was the show.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And so what happens after, how long did you do that for?
All right, so I think Mark and I did it for about a year.
Yeah.
And then
so just 13 episodes or more?
No, we did 2 seasons.
Wow.
So and then because we were getting busy, I was looking for more presenters. So Michael came on as a presenter. Michael's little sister, Monique Tazinski, came on as a presenter.
That's awesome.
Steve Cheers' daughter from the music shop, Hannah, she did like a Highlands TV for kids, and she covered the story of the statue of the umbrella girl in the park. What's her name?
Not Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. She did the unveiling of Mary Poppins' story.
Like the umbrella girl.
Yeah, the umbrella girl in the park.
Not like Mary Poppins.
So and it got bigger and bigger, but still no money. just like sponsorship, and then I started a sideline called Fikri Films, and that was paid gigs. So we agreed that we'd try and get money to do promotional videos for small businesses, and then the crazy guy that you saw talking about the dam, he was the first real estate agent to take on Fikri Films.
Well, I did like Hula Hoop Girl. She was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I did like the real estate agent. The honest, you should like label him honest real estate agent.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So he said, come and do videos for me.
Yep.
You film the house, and then we'll film. And he sort of, he would go out and interview small businesses and that as well. Like, so he'd do a free promo to small businesses to get his name out there. And that's basically what happened with Highlands TV for the first 24 months. And then we merged into sort of more paid jobs, Fikri Films, stuff like that.
So do you still do anything for fun?
My job's fun now, so...
Really?
Yeah, so...
So are you one of those lucky people that wakes up every morning and gets to do what they want?
Well, I still get bookings and my clients are still my bosses.
Yeah.
But, I can say, no, I can't do it today. We'll have to do it on Thursday, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you actually, like you said, when you're little and you wake up and everything's new and cool, and then as you grow up, your sort of life beats you down and you got to earn money, like run a kebab shop and all that sort of stuff. Do you genuinely wake up and go, yep, today's an awesome day, let's go smash it?
Look, to be honest, and I talk when I mentor younger people about filmmaking, it was so unattainable as a kid. You'd grow up and the only filmmakers you knew were Steven Spielberg and stuff like that. And then one day Steve Jobs gets up and he talks about iMovie and he goes, one day people are going to be watching 3-minute movies and they'll be editing them on their computer and they'll be putting them on the internet, and that's what it's going to be. And that was 10 years before Highlands TV even started.
Yeah.
And I thought, this man's crazy. He's a crazy person.
Well,
Who wants to watch 3-minute movies?
He was a crazy person, so.
But sure enough, we're watching 3-minute movies, and people are saying, "Oh, don't make anything longer than 3 minutes because our attention span won't last that long," and stuff like that. You know?
That's really interesting because that's the one of the not difficulties. It's not the right word, but one of the challenges I've got with HighCast is how do you get people to listen to long form content? Because it's only in long form content that you get nuance. Is that I get to ask you really meaningful questions about, do you really enjoy yourself? How did you go from owning a kebab shop to get that? Yeah, it takes a long time. Yeah, whereas people only want to engage for 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
So it is a really unique challenge for people like you and I who probably want to do things that tell bigger and better stories.
Young Michael, who's like, when are we going to make a feature film? And I'm like, who watches feature films? He goes, I do.
People still do.
Sure.
I think, and I'll give you my take on it. Like I go, I'd really love to watch that documentary, but it's an hour and a half.
That's right.
And then I go, I'll put it on before bedtime. And I fall asleep watching it.
During the ads. Yeah. You fall asleep during the opening trailer.
So it is it's a really difficult challenge for people like you and I and Michael, by the sounds of it, to make things that have meaning and purpose. It's a changed environment.
It really is. And then when you think about it, and every now and then we do a creative project. So these, I went to acting school with this guy. Rob.
Sorry, you went to acting? Here we go.
It's a long story.
Going to drill in on this one.
It's a long story, but let me. I was in the kebab shop and I wanted to be the next Wog boy.
I knew this is where we're going.
So I write a script called Kebab Shop Cop.
Do you still have it?
I have the script somewhere. Yeah,
awesome. Keep going. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Anyway, so we take the script, we shop the script around, and we end up taking it to a guy named what was his name? Something Purser. I've forgotten his first name. Anyway, he produced Fat Pizza, the movie.
I love Fat Pizza. It's great.
Well, so I take it, Jeff Purser.
Okay.
Jeff Purser, and he was with a mob called Templar Films back then. And I took him the script, and he goes, I love the script. We're going to have to do a full rewrite.
What? I know. How do you love a script and then want to do a full rewrite?
I don't get these people. Anyway, so he took the script and basically did nothing with it. And then, but he said, you need to go to the Actors Pulse in Redfern run by Billy Milionis, top bloke, top. He was the last guy, one of the last people to do Sandy Meisner's acting class in New York City, and then he's come back and he's brought that Meisner technique to life in Redfern.
Awesome.
It's awesome. So I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there with Rob Versace, who wants to be an actor. He's a lovely bloke, Italian, handsome, looks like he's just walked out of a hairdressing salon. and I say, Rob goes, "What do you want to achieve from being here?" I go, "Oh, they've sent me here because I want to be the kebab shop cop, and I need to do some acting, and I need to be able to bring the tears."
The kebab shop cop. It's so good.
And he goes, so you want to be able to cry? And I said, yeah. And he goes, so once you do that, you're done. And I'm like, yeah. And I remember the day I walked out of the doors to do this.
Did you cry?
Yeah, I was crying.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Rob goes, class dismissed.
That's like the end of a movie.
It was fantastic. So recently, Rob and there were two Robs in the class, Rob Versace, Rob Taverniti, both Italian blokes. They said to me, we want to make a film. And I said, what about? He goes, we want to be undercover cops and we just want to make this film. And so they sent me this script. I think it was about 12 pages long, which equates to 12 minutes in movie time. And I said, look, it's all right, but boring, just two guys talking in a car at a stakeout. Not for me, And he goes, well, what does it need? I go, someone needs to get shot in the face. And he goes, what? And he goes, we're like, I'm a parent, I have kids. I'm like, someone needs to get shot in the face. And he goes, well, who? And I go, what about Michael? Because Michael's an aspiring actor as well, who works with me, Michael Krasinski. Anyway, so we rewrite it, and they rewrite it, and I tell them what to do, and they come back, and I go, all right, now we can make it. We made this film, and they said, oh, how much do you want for it? Like, we love it. And I go, no, I don't want anything. You've been in things for me. We're good friends. Just enjoy it, And they go, all right, how much would you have charged? And I said, you're my friends, I would have charged you $2,000. And they go, we're going to take that $2,000 and we're going to enter this film into every film contest in the world. So to enter a film contest costs about $45.
Yeah, okay.
So these two guys, I go, what did you want to achieve with a film? They go, we want to get noticed.
So it's 40 odd film contests they're entering.
They entered a lot of film contests.
Wow.
So they go, we want to get noticed as actors. I go, all right. Nice Film Festival, they both get nominated for Best Actor.
Hang on.
I'm telling you, this is a true story. The movie's called Bumped Up.
Hang on, when someone says, telling you this is a true story, kind of like, well, this is probably not a true story. I'll Google it,
IMBD.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
IMBD, Bumped Up, the awards are on there.
All right, well, you keep talking, I'll Google it.
So they both get nominated. No, they don't win, but they both get nominated, and we get invited to Nice. They're like, grab the crew and come to Nice.
What? Actually get invited to Nice?
Yeah, we get invited to Nice by the people hosting the film festival.
There it is. It exists.
There you go.
He was telling the truth.
So
this is recently.
Just happened.
Good timing.
Story gets better. I've been doing a bit of work with George Kolovos, a bit of a hero of mine. George Kolovos used to make ads in the 80s for like huge amounts of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, ads. TV ads. And
any ads that we would remember?
Yeah, sure. He used to do a lot of stuff for McDonald's and stuff like that. But there was an ad where in super slow motion, they make pesto and they drop the almonds into the blender and it's in super slow motion and it's got classical music and you're seeing the almonds just get smashed up.
So that's him.
He made the ad.
Yeah, all right.
So while I was a courier driver, I used to see George Kolovos and some other guys.
So this is all in the Highlands, right?
All in the Highlands. It's a crazy place. We live in a crazy and a wonderful and artistic and creative area.
See, again, this is why I started HighCast, is for people like you to tell that story, because it's easy to drive down Bong Bong Street or whatever, Kirkham Road, and just think, oh yeah, it's Green Hills, it's whatever. Yeah. But there's people like yourself who are doing crazy stuff.
It's a dynamic place, and the more you dig, the more you find.
So you went to Nice?
No, we didn't end up going because we didn't end up going. But it's funny. The Nice Film Festival said you need to send. Said to the Mr. Taverniti and Mr. Versace, they said you need to send $350 because we want to make you one of those posters.
Yeah, whatever.
Posters for the cinema release, right? So they sent the money, but when they said we're going to send you the poster back after the festival, they had it sent to me as a gift, and it's up in my It's up in my office now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So was that a full feature length film?
No.
How long was it?
I think it was about 6 minutes.
Really?
6 minutes. And the day we made it, I was so sick. I had a scarf on. I was coughing and spitting, and I was just really sick. But it ended up being a really good. And it was raining. It was horrible weather.
So you in one of the worst states of your life have made your best ever, well, maybe not your best ever, but one of your most synonymous pieces of work.
It was good. But see, here's what's happened. George Kolovos has a office in Fox Studios, and these two guys are like, look, we think this could be a series. Bumped up, and I said, I don't know about series, maybe a feature film, you know.
It's still good. I want that feature film for
yeah,
sure. But isn't Michael already dead? He got shot in the face.
Yeah, but they can do a prequel, you know. and so we sit together with George. We have a sit down. George goes, I'll have a sit down with these guys. I saw the short. I like it. There are some doors that I could open at Fox Studios, but I could only open them once. So I don't want to go in there holding nothing in my hand. Could they get a feature-length script together?
Go on.
So I get a call from Versace last week, and he's like, we're nearly done.
Really? So
Yeah.
that's the next thing for Highlands TV is a proposal for a feature. Well, we shouldn't talk about it too much.
No, well, like George is going to take it in and show it to the right people, and hopefully from there we'll see what happens.
So what are you going to be, director? Is that...
Look,
the next Steven Spielberg?
I said, look, it doesn't matter if they because I know how these things work. We love your script. We just need to rewrite the whole thing. Right? So basically, what happens is you hand over your baby, and so it's their project, and I was happy to help them get to wherever they're going. If they need me to direct or do cinematography, I will. If they don't, I'm really happy for them anyway. I just want to see it grow.
Wow. So so in the middle of the mid-2000s, you run at a kebab shop. In 2017, you have a film produced that goes and wins awards in Nice. What a crazy journey.
It's crazy.
Acting school somewhere in there in between as well.
That's where I met Rob Versace.
Wow, okay.
In between the kebab shop cop script and becoming a courier driver.
I forgot the courier driver too. What was the courier movie that the guy from Fat Pizza made? No, sorry, courier.
Oh, yeah. What was it called? Fast and something. Swift and Shift.
Swift and Shift courier. I love that one too.
Yeah.
And the Bogan one, the Housos.
Housos, that's right.
I once upon a time used to work at SBS.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's a really fantastic place to work. I was very lucky to have worked there for 5 years, actually.
The one of the girls on Housos, Nikki Shyrock, I think her name is. She's a rock and roll wrestler, and she plays a Hauser Hunter. Bogan Hunter.
What's a rock and roll wrestler?
It's like, wrestling that you see on TV, like Nacho Libre.
Oh, really? So WWE kind of stuff?
Like that, But they have lower levels of it that aren't on TV that you can go and watch at an
RSL.
Yeah.
Go to Mittagong RSL, go watch the Rockstar Wrestling. Wow.
So the Hula Hoop Girl was commissioned by the Never Ending 80s band, who we do videos for. And then he said, I want to do some videos about our sort of online personas. And he goes, I want to be a wrestler, the lead guitarist. And I said, I know a girl. She used to work at the Barrel Hotel.
No, really?
Right? Nikki, the rock and roll wrestler. So I arranged a sit down for them. They hit it off. She's the Bogan Hunter in...
What's the Bogan Hunter?
The Bogan Hunter in Housos.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which
She's
character.
She's a blonde girl.
Oh, there was a couple of blonde girls. Did she... Anyway. We could probably easily Google that. So you mentioned before that all of this has happened in the Highlands. Have you said you haven't always been a Highlands local?
No. So I grew up in North Strathfield.
Wow. Okay.
And I went to school at McDonald College, Performing Arts School in Strathfield.
Yeah, some of my cousins went there actually.
Yeah. So a lot of people went to Catherine Sutherland, the Pink Power Ranger.
No.
In my class.
What?
Natalie Imbruglia. In my class.
Listen to this guy dropping names everywhere.
I'm just saying, I've never been that guy, but I figured if we're on radio or a podcast...
I can edit that out. Lucky I don't have any editing skills. It's going as is.
So Yeah, so there was a couple of famous people who were in my class at school. Such a small school, and it was a nice time. It was a nice time.
But yeah, there's a thing that, and it's only my like crappy life theories, but I reckon there's this this thing about talent, and it kind of it ends up being like little hubs of talent, and as you go through your life, you sort of realize, oh yeah, I went to school with that person, and so you were in the right place at a right time where there was a hub of talent, and many people from where you interacted have gone on to do big things,
huge things,
and even like what you've achieved here in the Highlands. That's pretty big for a obscure regional area, an hour and a half out of a main town.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is really cool. So what's next for Highlands TV?
Well, we don't do many stories per se as much anymore. I did one last week, I think, or the week before, about an artist down the resident artist in.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That's how I saw you.
Oh, yeah.
My wife sent it to me and said, "Oh, this looks really interesting." So I'm like, "Oh, I'll just get in contact and see what happens."
So I have lunch down at Dirty Jane's quite a lot, and then I see, and I said, "Tell me about your art," and the artist starts talking about the art, and I said, "It's very interesting. Would you mind if I came and did a story on you?" And she said, "Who are you?" So it's been so long since I've been getting around the Highlands TV jackets.
Yeah,
and we've gone like paid, and so it's been a long time since I've done a free story for anyone. I just felt compelled, you know.
Do you feel like you've lost anything going from just having fun to being paid, like from having fun to it being your full-time gig?
Look, you saw the real estate agent,
Yep.
our last story. We're still having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
did feel like that was fun. How many takes did it take, or is that just him doing it?
We call him First Take Pete. He's just a silly guy, and he has so much fun, and he sells properties.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But if he's having and that's what did I read? I read a quote the other day that is, if you're not enjoying yourself or bettering yourself, you're wasting your time. So he sounds like a guy who's just having a ball doing what he's doing, and I forget the line about the dam, but it's not. What did he say? It's not. This isn't a wet place. Look at this dam.
He goes, there's been a drought, and he said something about there are 3-year-old frogs here who have not learned how to swim yet.
If that guy comes, like, that's the line that's going to sell houses.
Yeah.
So, no plans for future Highlands TV, or is it just going to be the journey is the plan?
Look, I had a talk with Michael the other day about feature films, and I've got 2 features I want to make, but
Cops.
No. One of them's about a young WOG guy growing up in the 70s in Erskineville.
Do you feel like that's been done though?
No, but it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
See, I feel like it's the comedy side of it has been done to death, but this is from an era where WOG was a fighting word.
Yeah.
You know, where if someone called someone a WOG, it was on.
It still was. So I went to school in the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
And it still wasn't quite a fighting word by the end of it.
I think Nick Giannopoulos changed it all by having a good laugh at the word and owning it. And then sort of WOGs became funny and cool instead of very serious and reactive, so to speak. But the film that I want to make, it's called Union Street Boys, and it's about growing up, not just about one character, but it's about growing up in Erskineville in the 70s and 80s. And how hard it was, you know, and how it was a bit of a ghetto, you know.
So a coming of age type story?
Yeah.
Told from the perspective of a young Turkish boy?
Turkish guy, and basically his journey from Cyprus, it wasn't Turkish Cyprus back then, it was just Cyprus, and coming to Erskineville, going to school, having a fight, and then finally becoming 18 and getting into a serious fight, and then looking at jail time, and then what happens after that?
See, I think in this day and age, those stories are even are more important than ever. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Where you look what's happening in the United States around race relations. So I feel like we've come all this way in terms of multiculturalism to dumb it down to that level.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we've taken a few steps back. And then the second part is for men as well. So young ethnic men to see a story that is about them, that it's an important story to tell, and it's really important to tell in this day and age.
Sure, and you don't just have to be a European or an ethnic to have suffered adversity. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, everyone has tough times in their life.
Sure, and then I think a lot of people will relate to it even on a grander scale. Like I'm not thinking so much America, but maybe Europe.
Yep.
The movie will go well in Europe, and I think it'll be a Netflix release if I release it, and if I make it. So I'd love to watch the movie.
Well, that sounds like excuse me, that's your thing. Like you're doing something that you want to do anyway, and you'd probably, I get the feeling that that's what you would do regardless. So obviously you got to make money to do mortgages and family and that sort of stuff. But it sounds like you're the kind of person that's gonna pursue things that are fun and you enjoy regardless.
That's right.
So you're gonna make the film, or does someone have to back it for you to do it?
Look, it's one of those things where I have to show the character at 3 different ages of his life.
Yep.
Like maybe 7, 14, and 18. And I spoke with Isaac from Rocker Cafe. He's the son of the owner of Rocker Cafe in Barrel. Now, Isaac was in a film for me, a short film called Mustafa, which I entered in Tropfest in 2014.
This guy's dropping the names again.
2014. And Isaac, just a local young boy, fantastic actor. And I said, Isaac, would you be willing to play the main character in my film as the 18-year-old? And he said, all right. He's such a cool dude,
As kids do. So you said you wanted to make 2 films.
Yeah.
So we've heard the first one. What's the second one?
Right. So the other one was this film called The Noble Wife. And it's a complete opposite of that. And it's about this young couple who live in a country town, similar to like Dubbo or somewhere rural. And then he's a bit of a computer guy, computer nerd, and they're Christians. And what happens is a sister church in Sydney has a job for him. So they move from the country to the city. They're a young married couple. She's a little bit out of his league, but because they're Christians and they live in a country town and the pickings are slim, they ended up together. And then so what happens is she's seduced by the city, and she has all these sort of...
You talk like a filmmaker, like she's just seduced by the city. Like that's... Not many people would talk like that. So sorry to interrupt your...
No, that's all right. So then she has all this, a few sort of random escapades, as you would call them. And then he finds out and it gets ugly. And so the story's about this sort of young couple that gets ruined by moving away from their family sort of country area environment.
So two very pertinent stories for this day and age. What motivates you as a storyteller?
When I was a boy, I had these 3 uncles. They're my mother's brothers, biggest storytellers, all 3 of them. And they only told stories about what happened to them, And a lot of Union Street boys are those stories put into a film, and they captivated me, And I was hanging on every word that they said, and all their stories were coming of age or facing your demons or getting into brawls and fights, and it's like Hollywood movies, like it's crazy.
Do you feel like that? I said you sound like a filmmaker, seduced by the city, coming of age. Do you feel like that sort of what's the words that I'm looking for? That those stories are going missing. Well, we talked about it's only 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes to capture attention. You can't tell a coming of age. You can't tell a seduced by the city story in 3 minutes.
You really can't. And that's and so much effort goes into making a full-length feature film. And I know this because when I make a 6-minute film and it takes me 2 days to shoot it and 3 weeks to edit it.
Yeah, for
and I'm like,
6 minutes.
That's 6 minutes,
Yeah.
It's not an easy task, and it feels like such a big. It's like climbing Mount Everest, but the so rewarding,
Yeah, well, I think, and that's that's there's two parts. The rewarding part. So you go and you experience the satisfaction of telling the story, but then someone at the other end of it gets to see the story and gets to learn vicariously. And we talked about Seduction of the City or Coming of Age. You can't. Well, it's not that you can't learn, but the lessons that you learn from those stories, you take on board, and you think, well, I know it was a movie, but maybe I can learn vicariously through that character.
Yeah.
Can you learn vicariously through a 3-minute Snapchat story? Like,
I don't know.
Is that where women learn to take off their clothes? Kind of.
I don't know. I often joke about Instagram, and I go, I have to try so hard to get 90 people to watch something of mine on Instagram, and all the girl has to do is take a photo of herself.
Yeah, but that is. I talked about. It's a really important film to make, the coming of age for a Turkish boy in this day and age, because it is. People need. I don't want to stand on a soapbox, but people need to know that there is more to life than taking a selfie and being Insta famous. Yeah,
that's right. We often talk about films with George Kolovos because, he's a great producer, and he often says, oh, have you seen this movie? And have you seen that movie? And then he says, I watched this movie and it was a very quiet film. And I get it, but who else would get the term, it was a very quiet film?
Yeah, okay.
And one of the best examples is, and I wrote to him from my phone the other night because I was watching a film called The Skin of the Wolf. And I didn't realise it was a Spanish film. It was on Netflix because for the first 17 minutes, there's no speaking. And I said, this is a quiet film.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I just I wrote to George and I said, you got to check this movie out. Like, I'm 17 minutes in and no one has spoken a word.
Yeah, and that's I hope my I got 2 young boys. I hope they get to experience that sort of art form because I was a bit of a snob when I still am, to be honest. When I was growing up, particularly going through school and university, I was like, if art or like artistic mediums like music or filmmaking doesn't have meaning, I don't care. Like it's got to tell a really important story.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost that for a while, but I'm coming back. Like I think art, this what I'm doing here, I'm trying to prescribe meaning to it. I'm trying to have serious conversations. And the reason why I started it now when I'm getting old is because I feel like that's lost.
Yeah.
And if you're watching a quiet film, well, they're trying to tell a real story there.
Yeah.
And that story is going to have meaning. And it takes a lot to show meaning through an art form.
It's funny, the main character of this film was a dead ringer for Nico at Bistro Officina. Do you know Nico?
I don't, but I got to go there now.
So Nico is a hunter and a chef.
Yeah.
And he's a rugged looking man.
Yeah.
And he's got a beard and he's got dark hair and dark eyes. And we were interviewing Nico at George Kolovos's place the other day for a short 3-minute story. And I said, Nico, you need to watch this movie.
You're in it.
Skin of the Wolf. It's just like you. And he's got a very thick accent. He goes, I can't wait to see it. So I want to finish now and go home and watch it. So I'll have to ask him if he's watched it.
Oh, that's too funny. And all from our little place here in the Highlands.
It's an amazing place, David, and I hope you get to meet more and more people.
Well, that's again, there is a selfish angle to HighCast. Like I'm new to the area. I've been here for almost 3 years, and this has been a way for me to meet people like yourself. If I didn't do this, and I almost say it every week now, like if I didn't put a microphone in front of your face, would we have this conversation?
We probably would have if we met in a cafe.
Yeah, well, but I'd have to go over and I'd have to initiate a conversation, or you would too.
Yeah.
And how often do people initiate conversations with random strangers these days?
No one does it enough anymore because we're all in our phones.
Yeah.
And I find it sad. I find it sad because in the old days you'd sit, and even if the person was an old annoying guy who just butted in your conversation, I think it's better than what we're doing to ourselves now.
Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons again why I've started this. I've been inspired by other people, and it's not like I'm the first to think, well, we should have long form conversation. But I thought, well, in the Highlands, lots of people like myself move here and don't know jack about the place. and there's amazing people like yourself and all of the people, like you've dropped 20 names of people who are doing other amazing things.
There's so much stuff going on in this town. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you wouldn't, like, how, if I'm not telling the story, how are you telling the story? You know, there's only a number of mechanisms for that to get out. And hopefully between me talking shit and somebody else, like you've got Southern Highland News, you've got The Fold. There's a range of other people who are trying to get these stories out in different ways. You, of course. Hopefully we can all get a little bit of the story out in our own little ways.
I think so.
So how do people find out? When Ozzie came in the studio, he was like 50 minutes for a conversation. Look at the clock now.
How far we've gone?
50 minutes, and you didn't even breathe.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It just goes like a flash.
It really does.
And like you think, like, as a little kid, I used to think, oh, my parents are just sitting around talking. How boring.
I have to tell you, in our culture, the men were outside around the barbecue, and the women were in the kitchen gossiping.
Yeah.
And I was in the kitchen listening.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so the men's conversation didn't interest me at all. It was all too macho and that, unless my uncles were there.
Yeah.
But if my uncles weren't there, I was in the kitchen listening to the ladies. I love it.
What's the Greek? Sorry, not Greek. The Turkish version of ouzo. It's grappa. No.
Raki.
It's
It's all from grapes. It's funny, in Cyprus, we mix it with water and it goes a milky white.
Yeah, that's. I had this picture of, for whatever reason, of you sitting, or your family sitting around with a grilled octopus.
It's pretty accurate.
And a milky white drink. That's what it, yeah.
So the raki we call in Turkish aslan sütü, which translates to lion's milk.
I think I heard that on Food Safari once. See, Food Safari is another good one, but we could talk for hours. How do people find out about Highlands TV and anything else that you would like to let them know about? Look,
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they're your trifecta. So if you just type in Highlands TV, even into Google, you'll be able to watch videos and see what's going on.
Awesome. And just Highlands TV, anything else you want to let people know about?
Look, so we shoot weddings, we shoot real estate videos, we shoot promotional videos for small business. We're actually shooting a great promotional video for the Old Bank Cafe. Not cafe, it's the Old Bank.
The one in Mittagong?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a really interesting building, actually.
We have a great idea for the ad, and we're shooting it not this Friday, but next Friday. And it's just like a step back in time thing. It's going to be wonderful.
Fantastic. All right, I look forward to seeing that. This has been HighCast with our fantastic guest this week. This has been actually my most fun. So I've had lots of podcasts that I've really enjoyed. This has been the most fun one. I don't think I've laughed so much in a podcast yet. So we'll definitely be getting Ozzie back if you'd like to come back.
Love to come back.
HighCast episode 26. I implore you to check out Bright Spenders. It is really cool. Contact Anthea either at brightspenders.com or hit her up on Facebook. It makes such a big difference to your life. Hit me up, highcast.com.au. Looking for sponsors. I really want to support volunteers in the Highland. It is such a good cause. Next week, I'm not going to tell you who's next week. It's going to be a surprise. Until then, see you later.